Yo, welcome back to another episode of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Missed everybody last week. My apologies. I guess I was out of the country, Ben. I was in Niagara Falls.
I don't approve of this.
Dude, I got some awesome pictures. So I'll share it with people down the road. But that's not what this podcast is for today. We got some
I'm
we
sure
got
you
some
have great, but I did not. So,
I wonder why.
because I was left to carry all the weight, thanks to you, Mitch. I did not have a great week. We'll talk more about that as we go forward.
But anyways, we're back this week. Ben, we're gonna need to bring on a guest soon. It's been a little while. We might try doing that next week.
Maybe we should put it up to like a bidding, like the highest bidder gets to come on the show. What do you think?
I we might do that, or whoever scores the most points this week, we will offer them to be on the episode next week. How about that?
I mean, that's a point, but I want to see like what they can offer us. Like, maybe they're like, "I'll buy you guys ice cream, deal," or I've got this cool thing of stickers that you guys will enjoy. Just saying.
All right, so best bribe, and Ben and I will
Best
vote
price.
on it, and we'll
Uh,
we'll have you on.
if you give me maybe the best players on your teams, we may actually just feature you season.
So, all right. Yeah, we're gonna talk about last week a little bit. Ben and I, we didn't get a chance to break down our matchup together, but we're sure gonna talk about the results. We had some big trades last week too. We're gonna do our waiver wire Wednesday. It is Thursday, technically at the time of recording. We're gonna break down week six matchups and then a couple NFL topics. And another thing I'm noticing as we are recording, like I said, it's Thursday night. Right here in front of me, I got the uh, 49ers and Seahawks game playing. So you're going to see some weird flashes, maybe some random excitement if you are doing more than just listening to these two amazing faces.
Yeah, I got the same thing going right here. Like, I can't help it, guys. He's on.
All right, so
Ooh,
Ben,
ooh, big,
let's.
big run, big run.
Oh boy, this is going to be a little
He's still
distraction if we do
going.
this all day. I know he is. All right. Anyways, Ben,
Racing.
let's start off and talk about actually the trades last week. Let's do that because that kind of really made a big difference for
It
me
set
last week.
it set the tone. I'll give you that.
So I will say going into last week, I was like, do I start trading yet? Do I kind of wait? And I kind of just sold off like I'm not winning this week regardless. I had no business winning. And I'm gonna stick to that. And I'm pretty sure like I either mentioned I'm like the only way I will win is if Ben's team does not show up. Now your team had to do a little bit more than show up. They didn't have to like really show up. They just needed to show up a little bit. Um, but no, those trades because like I said I wasn't looking. I got offered two trades in the same day. I didn't initiate any of it. Usually it's the other way around. Usually I'm going through teams like what trades make sense, kind of pull this off. And I get an offer from Cameron. And a lot of times, if I get offered a trade, I'm going to pick on AJ. Tommy, happy you're in the league because I don't think I'll see this with you. At least not nearly as bad as I do with AJ. But I've seen a lot of trades from AJ in the past. I'll look at it, I'm like, you're an idiot, and I'll decline. Like, not happening. Or it'll be a trade where I see what he's trying to do, and I'm like, you're not going to be able to give me what I want to make this trade happen. It's like this trade just doesn't make sense. When I saw that offer from Cameron, his goal is to get Tyreek Hill. He is banking that Tyreek Hill is going to blow up once Tua gets back, and Tua is coming back. I don't care what anybody says. It's just going to be a matter of is he going to be playing at the same level? Is he going to stay healthy? Because if he gets concussed again, NFL's going to like you're done.
Yep.
And I'm at a point where I had to win now. So Cameron was kind of like, hey, I might be able to capitalize on this. But he offered me. Oh, the original trade was Johnson. Uh, oh, geez. Let me
I mean,
pull this up.
it's what went through.
The first one did not. I countered a little bit.
Got it.
So It was Rico Johnson, and it was Josh Downs. And I was like, I see what you're doing. I'm like, and I told Cameron, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, I need time to think about this. I ain't talking to Rob. And that same evening, Andrew offered me straight up, or Devonte Adams for Josh Jacobs, and I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, I could possibly backfill this big hole if a trade goes, but then I'm going to be hurting at running back. So whenever I talked with Cameron, I was like, I really want two running backs. I'm like, can I get Gibson? I tried getting a different running back on his team, from Cincinnati, Chase. He wasn't
Yep.
ready to give him up, which I was like, okay. And then I negotiated Gibson and Rico, who Rico is. He's the designated starter for there, so he's doing great. That works out. And then I went ahead and pulled the trigger. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then whenever I got that, I just immediately accepted that trade with Andrew. So I'm like, I from that first trade, yeah, I downgraded my wide receiver core, but I built up my running back core. Josh Jacobs, he's been fine. Nothing high end. Really, he's my third RB, even after that trade, because I still had Montgomery and Mixon whenever he gets back. Jeez.
Yep. Yep.
So it's just the trades made sense. I'm just pretty lucky that those two kind of, I don't want to say fell in my lap, but they kind of did, to where it made sense for me to try to win now because I couldn't afford to lose too many more weeks. I really thought I was going to be 1-4 going into this week, but the fact I'm 2-3, that's a huge difference. And I'm in the fight to win this week because of that trade. And then that ultimately resulted in me beating you last week.
Yeah, not really happy with Cameron right now. But
Well, the
I,
one thing about that trade, real quick, because I looked at it, I'm like, if this works out in Cameron's favor, I just stacked his team. Unless, because if Hill does not play, if he falls short, then his team just took a huge hit. That's what he's banking on. Now, I'll also say this too. I was not expecting Cameron's team to be 4-1. That his points scored reflects that he should not be 4-1. He should be probably more like 2-3, like me. But
yeah,
he's won weeks where maybe he shouldn't have. But hey, that's part of the game. But I'll say now, with Hill being on his team, if he starts playing, watch out. His team might be the team to beat. Sorry, everyone.
oof. Well, I think you're right on that because I mean, you look at it and Cameron's one of those teams who's had the fewest points scored against him, so that's definitely helped him out a bit. But that all being said, not happy with Cameron for this trade. It may have played a little part in me rejecting a trade offer from Cameron this week. But I didn't like the trade offer to begin with. But as soon as I saw it was from Cameron, I'll admit that I was like, no, you helped Mitch beat me last week. So, no, you're definitely not getting anything this week. So, that's all the thought I put into that trade offer. Also, he's going after Derrick Henry, and I'm not. I hate Derrick Henry, but I'm not stupid. I'm not parting with him right now.
You know he
So,
plays that. Like he's very methodical with what he
yeah,
does. But to be fair, he for the most part, like 9 times out of 10, the trades that he does put out, he does try to make it to where it's a fair trade in a sense. Like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. I just don't want to do it, type kind of thing. So,
yeah. Well, like I said, I thought we had a good match. I will say that. I
mm-hmm.
thought it was a pretty darn good game. My team just didn't show up in several aspects. I mean, I was basically sitting there banking on Alvin Kamara against the Chiefs, and me well enough to know that I'm sitting there going, I don't care if you score points. I just need the Chiefs to win. I was screaming at the TV like the number of times I've talked to people this week, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a good win." I'm like, "That was a terrible game." Nobody else is agreeing with me because I watched that and I was like, The only bright spots to me was the defense. I 100% called that Juju Smith Schuster was going to lead the team in receptions and yards. So those are good spots to me. Do you want me to tell you that Travis Kelsey is back? No. No, I'm still not buying it. Boy needs to get his head on straight. Patrick Mahomes missing open receivers. Not happy about that. So Juju, Kareem Hunt, defense, great job. Everyone else, get it together. So that being said, still mad at Cameron because I do feel like it was Rico Dowdle who gave you the win. Like I think that's what happened. Then you know, harping on Orscheln, look, it's a kicker who put up double digits points, and who's been doing it pretty consistently. Um, you can't tell me there's no strategy in picking kickers, guys. You can't tell me because uh, if you have made the decision to go get Young Hui Koo or Kayomi Fairbairn, you know what you're doing.
Hey,
You
I
know,
drafted that one.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's definitely a strategy to that. So, like I said, good win for Mitch. Stay in the game. Um, I can't say I was crazy about the trades, but it paid off. And now you just got to see if it helps you through the rest of the season. So, I mean, we're basically in the same boat, aren't we? I think
We're
we're
both 2-3.
yeah, and like we're both right around 8 on the rankings, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You are. I got the Fabs. You're either 7 or 8, and I'm either 8 or 9.
I'm 8, you're 9. So yeah, again, we talked about before the disparity between the league. It's pretty negligible.
It,
We don't have a team,
there's
and
not just an absolute dominant team right now.
yeah, there's 5 3-2 teams. There's 3 2-3s. So right there, 8 teams are right around that 500 level. So
Yeah,
this week is going to probably shake some things up again. So I'm excited. I think my team will come back out better this week. So hoping to get back up to the 500.
I just my team just mix and play, please play, and then hopefully Jalen Hurts returns to form. So we'll see. All right, waiver wire Wednesday. We're gonna do this pretty fast. So we had Cameron pick up Darnell Mooney for $21.
Yep.
Um, man, Cameron does not have much left in his bid. What's crazy is this. It's hilarious. He outbid Andrew by $1. So this is one I'm sure Andrew really wanted. Andrew eventually got Josh Downs. I think he was the only one that bid for him. Um,
Yep.
which I think that's a good pickup right now, especially with Pittman being out. But anyways, back to Darnell Mooney. We'll see. There's a spark there. He's doing what we always thought Mooney was capable of doing whenever he got drafted. So Cameron, I like this pickup, especially after the trade that you did with me. I like this pickup for you. Man, you start hurting though. You don't got much left in your fab budget. And I'm all for spending most of your fab budget for the first part of the year. It might be too soon that you spent that much. Bad joke, maybe be more like Taylor and have $100 left.
No, I'll go ahead and say I did put a bid on Darnell Mooney, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, I don't want anybody to just go get him for nothing.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I
that's
did the
what.
same thing with you. So like you bid 9, I bid 12, and it was really more like it might take it. I'm not expecting it, but at least someone's not going to get it for a steal.
Yep.
So but that has to be probably one of the closer bidding wars we've seen on a player.
Yep. Uh,
So
I will say that that was part of the offer that Cameron was making to me this week for Derrick Henry was Darnell Mooney was one of the players, and again, taking a look at that, I'm like, nope. Just because I bid on him doesn't actually mean I don't want him. I'm a
uh,
tricky guy, complicated. You might even.
yeah, let's see. We had Mickey B, I paying $9 for defense, and not
Well,
just
not just
any. Mike, I mean, I'm proud of you for being so high on the Eagles. Um, I don't know what you're smoking on that one.
I
Uh,
say a word there, Mitch.
hey, I know they're playing the Browns. That I don't think that was worth $9. That might be good for you for 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah, their schedule gets a little bit easier. They might start getting a little bit better on defense, but they're not flashy on defense. Um, I think that's an overbid. Cameron tried bidding $4. That's a little bit more respectable. But Mike, hey, if you wanted a man, you go get him. So I hope they do well for you until you play me. Then they hope they do just enough to win the game for me. Um, I love this one. Uh,
Yep.
Steve, $3 for a kicker, and Cameron also bid $3 for the kicker, but Steve won the bid due to waiver priority. I think I like Steve. I'm happy you got a kicker you want. Me, I'm more surprised Cameron put a bid in for a
On a
kicker.
yeah, we're talking about Cameron, the guy who consistently doesn't have a kicker until like almost kickoff time on Sundays.
It's,
So
I mean, I'm surprised. Maybe Ellie's trying to sabotage his team. Um,
maybe he's letting Lynn do the the strategy right now. You
maybe,
think?
maybe I was negotiating with Lynn and not Cameron.
Yeah.
So, and then Andrew coming in and getting Indy for $1. Uh, Looks like Ryan and Mark put a $0 bid on that one too. Just trying to get the waiver priority. So,
Yep.
um, what are some other transactions I might have missed that nobody else bid for? Looks like, oh yeah, Rob and I we took Taysom Hill, and Caleb Williams got picked up for $3 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Algier for little Josh. Andrew got Josh Downs for $9. Like I said, I like that one. I'm surprised nobody else went for that. Um,
Yep.
and looks like Los Angeles got picked up. I think that's Clark. That's the Reed for speed.
Yeah, he changed his name today.
So, oh, and then Cameron,
Yeah, Cam
one
did get
dollar
it.
for Houston.
Yeah. So I don't know. A lot of moves. We'll see how they all kind of play out, but
Yep.
oh,
All right. Uh, some quick power rankings. Then we're going to get into Week 6 matchups. So this week we're gonna do a little bit differently. I'm gonna do the who I think is the best team, and Ben will do the worst team. Um, Honestly, I think what I'm gonna do, for how much I hate to do it, I'm gonna give it to the number one ranked team right now, and that's Mickey B. I know Cameron also has a 4-1 record. The points that he has does not reflect that too well. I know there's a handful of people that have more points than Mike, but Mike is winning. Mike is in first. He still has $82 in his budget. He's doing good. Um, Outside of that, I mean, I think Clark's team is still a problem. Lil Josh's team is getting better. Cameron's team, I think, is going to be a pain in the butt on the second half of the season. Uh, I really thought he was going to be more like 1-4 and 2 or 3 right now, but he's 4-1. So let's hope my end season prediction is also wrong,
yep,
and he does terrible. So, but yeah, I give it to Mickey B. You have the best team as of right now, or you're
right
at
now.
least number one in the power
You're
rankings.
on right now. Who
Ben,
knows how,
give us that sweet last place power ranking. Who is it?
guys? I have been, you know, I've been steadfast on telling you who is the worst team, and it has not changed since draft day. It brings me great pleasure. Taylor, the honor after week 5 is once again it's you. 0-5, baby. Let's just see if you can 6. I have full in your team being able to pull off the 0-6. I know you can do it, man. I know you can do it.
All right. Okay. With that, we are gonna jump right into some matchups. Um. Okay. I tell you what, we are gonna start. We're gonna start with handicap accessible, Mr. Orslin against Cameron. Pull this up here on
Hmm.
the screen. Andrew, I don't understand why you're changing your team name. It's not
I
that I
mean,
see mostly Q's and nothing on your team or anything, but I'll at least say at least you have options to pick, at least for now. Um, it's oh, dude, I could talk injuries all day. It's part of the game. It sucks, and what sucks is whenever you really don't know if they're going to play or not. I will say I'm going to go ahead and do this matchup breakdown first, Ben.
yep.
Um, I'm gonna give it to Cameron right now. Uh, I could see this being a close match. I think Andrew, right now, my big concern for your team is it going to be Stevenson or not there for New England. He threatened to take away his job. He got a small opportunity, and then he capitalized last week. I thought it was going to be Gibson being the true RB1 after what they said. They even said that Gibson was going to be RB1, but Stevenson showed up. He didn't fumble, so I think as long as he doesn't fumble and he produces, then great. Uh, man, one of the things that I didn't quite understand from that trade that you did with me, you traded for a running back on the same team as your quarterback. You're living and dying with Pat. That's fine. That's your team. I no comment outside of that. It could either bode well for you or it could backfire. Um, Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, I think the odds of I don't know. I haven't checked much with Taylor if he's playing or not this week. I'm sure that's a true question mark if he's going to play. But
Well,
I'm going to give the edge to Cameron here. I think Cameron's team is more consistent. Sorry, Kraft. It's Jordan Love. Yeah, he might have some points, but Kraft is getting some points this week. He might be tight end one this year.
it's a bold prediction.
Dude, he's been lighting up these past few weeks
He's lit it up the past 2 weeks.
since Jordan Love's been back.
But just saying, like they have other things. They have two tight ends there that can do that. Also, don't forget Kraft is actually battling some injury stuff too. So you don't know.
Uh,
Um,
just because of how Andrew put his team name, all the injuries will go in favor of Cameron and against Andrew. So injuries aside, let's say this straight up, I still think Cameron has a small edge. That's what I'm going to bank it on. Small edge to Cameron, close game. Andrew, if you're riddled with injuries with your starting lineup right now, you're gonna lose. I know you took a big hit with Nico Collins. That's unfortunate. That was really probably the best staple to your team. You have some players. I think Josh Downs there will make a difference for you. Assuming Joe Flacco keeps being QB, um, which he should. But outside of that, small edge to Cameron, not by much. I'm rooting for you though, Andrew, for what that's worth.
hmm. I will agree with you, Mitch. I'll go ahead and say Cameron wins this, but where we disagree is by the amount. I'm going to say Cameron runs away with this because looking at that lineup, I think there's a decent chance. There's four questionable players in Andrew's lineup. If I were a betting man, which I am, I would say there's a good chance at least one, if not two of those, do not play this weekend. So that being said, I think that hurts Andrew quite a bit. Um, they're neck and neck in projections right now. So, um, I don't think Andrew's team is as bad as the record indicates, but the vice versa there is I don't also believe that Cameron's team is as good as his record indicates. Like I said, being on the receiving end of a trade offer from Cameron is offering up Chase Brown and Darnell Mooney for Derrick Henry. I'm like, there's no part of me that really wants either one of those guys. Uh, you've heard me talk. Little Josh will tell you, I may be the biggest Zach Moss fan out there who's not actually a Bengals fan. So I want no part of Chase Brown. I not interested. Uh, to me, Chase Brown's only getting looks because he can catch the ball, and Zach Moss has been battling some injuries. So I don't see it mattering that much.
Yep.
I think Cameron's team is primed to get better because, like I said, the trade with you for Tyreek Hill, if Tyreek gets Tua back and they return to form, yeah, Cameron's team is going to be hard to beat. But, I'm also pointing at pieces to Cameron's team like Amari Cooper has not gotten his projection 4 out of 5 times. So that's not a trustworthy player there. Honestly, Cameron, I think you should play Darnell Mooney over Amari Cooper. So waiting to see when you do that. Or Wicks, I think they have a better chance. So yes, Cameron wins, but I think with some tweaking, Cameron can win by even more.
All right. Let's move on to Mickey B and Clark. This is probably matchup of the week right here.
I'm going to disagree. I think this is actually going to be a letdown, if you will. I think both these teams are going to come out. We think they're going to have their big hits, but I just don't know that they actually will. I think there's some question marks to it. I don't like DJ Moore. I've never been a fan. Rashad White really hasn't had that much of a great season. It's really been kind of lackluster for him. J.K. Dobbins just kind of finally coming back and getting feet forward again. It's the first time we're going to watch Sam Laporta. We don't actually know what the hell he's going to look like. And, you know, Philadelphia's defense, you and I both know how we feel about that. Maybe it will, maybe they will, maybe they won't, You got Matt over there. Clark, you've got Caleb Williams as your starting quarterback. Who knows what that's going to be like? I don't know what to expect. Devontae Smith coming back after some injury stuff. How's he going to look, Mitch? I don't know. And then George Kittle, let's admit it. You're talking about who the best tight ends are this year. Let's just say it. Tight ends have not been great this year.
Mm-mm.
They haven't. Now, Kittle has had 3 pretty good games, but he's also had like 2 non-factor games. So that's still basically like a 50-50 shot of.
Yeah.
So I think I will give it to. Sorry, I got the notification. Debo Samuel 76-yard touchdown reception. Ben's team looking good right now. But yeah, I think Matt's team is actually the one who's going to pull out the win. But I think it's going to be one of those ugly, grounded out kind of games. I think the score is going to be a little bit more like that score that you and I had this past week. Something like that. Like we're fighting to get to 100 is what I'm actually saying. So enlighten me, Mitch. Tell me what you think.
I think uh, the magic between Joe Burrow and Chase is going to continue to blow up. Going against the Giants, I mean they're in you got to win mode. I can't believe this Bengals are 1-4. They're playing like they're a better team than that. They forgot how to win. It's like the old Cincinnati team. Uh, I it's I think Mike is gonna win because it's gonna be with Joe Burrow and Chase. That wombo combo. I think it's gonna be a pretty even match. I agree with you. I'm not a fan of White. Laporta. I mean, Laporta's been playing this year, right? I just don't think he's done anything. He
Yeah,
has not done much.
he's been playing, but it's been like like 2-3 catches a game. Like they've been feeding the ball around Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams has really kind of come on this year.
Hmm.
And they're just working the ball around. Like, we talk about the Chiefs offense to where they just kind of spread it around to anybody. It could be anybody's week.
Yeah.
And it's like the Lions have kind of picked up on that too. Because they're willing to get that ball out there to whoever can make a play.
Yeah. So me, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it to Mike, and I think it's because Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are just gonna light it up this week. I like Matt's team. Caleb Williams, we'll see. I mean, Caleb Williams, to his credit, he's looks like he's getting better and better every week. His best weapons on Mike's team.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
uh, we'll see. Now I know you got T Higgins. If it's one of those things where it's a T Higgins type of day, that could bode very well for Clark. Uh, I think a lot of it's really going to come down to that Cincinnati game. How does that Cincinnati game play out? So, but I'm gonna give Mike the edge, not by much. Clark, I hope you win.
Mitch, I'm
Sorry,
gonna be
Mike.
on this game on right now. It is a problem. The Giants just fumbled the kickoff.
You mean Seattle?
Oh yeah, Seattle. But yeah, look at this.
Looked like he just dropped it.
He just dropped it, man. And San Fran, they got all over it. So,
Oh, a hand hit it. Well,
good placement. I'll give him that. Defend.
yep. Okay, let's
Pick
move
the next match.
on. Okay, we are gonna move on to Drew and Steve.
Uh, I think I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Okay. So I know we already got some players going here. So I know before this, I already had Drew winning this game. I'm gonna stick to Drew winning this game, especially with how this has started. Um, I just looking at positions. So QB Drew wins. Wide receiver Steve, you've been holding on for dear life, and you've been doing well, surviving without AJ Brown. You're 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
He is back. I'm looking for a big week out of him. I don't think it's going to be enough for you. Uh, Mike Evans, I like. Flowers, that's kind of hit and miss. Um,
Yep.
Mason and Walker, I mean, I like Mason. Drew's doing what he has to since he doesn't have Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Hubbard, since you got Red Rocket in there, there's actual productivity from the running game. So I think as long as the Red Rockets playing in Carolina, we all have some hope with players from that team. Steve, you have a chance. You need help. Um, I think you could score more than what you're projected, but it won't surprise me if you don't break 100. So I'm gonna give this one to Drew. His team's already off to a solid start. Uh, and yeah, that's I mean simple as that. That's all I got.
Um, you know what, Mitch? I'll go ahead and say I'm gonna take Steve on this one. So here's my thinking. Yes, clearly Drew has the better quarterback. Geno Smith really not having a great night so far. Um, I like Mike Evans quite a bit, so I like that for Drew. I don't like Zay Flowers. Um, I just don't think the passing attack in Baltimore is really there yet. Um, you know, I think it's funny that Drew has the running backs that are both playing in this game right now. It's starting for him. I think Mason's going to pop off for a pretty decent number. I don't know about Walker doing that though right now because it looks pretty much like Seattle's going to be playing from behind quite a bit. So I think they may have to abandon that run a bit, which makes me think that Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to get some action. I think that they're going to have to,
Gino?
huh?
I thought you. It sounded like you said Jackson Smith.
What did I say?
I thought you. Whenever you're talking about Geno Smith, you said Jackson Smith.
No, I was talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Oh shoot! I never think of his first name being Jackson.
Yeah.
I always just
Mitch.
go with Jay Smith. Dude, I'm
All
tired.
right. All right. So JS, I think, is going to produce some stuff for the end of the night. I like the AJ Brown play. I think Philly's going to have to come out hard this week.
It
And
has to be a statement game.
yeah, they're coming off the bye, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I know better than to bet on against teams that are coming off a bye. I think they use that to get healthy. It's going to be a statement game for them. So I'll go ahead and say it. I think AJ Brown finishes with at least 20 points this week. Um, I like the running backs for Steve better. He's got James Cook, and Buffalo's going against the Jets. I really think the Jets are kind of a mess right now. And then, you got James Conner going against Green Bay. Look, James Conner is one of the let me phrase that. He is quietly one of the better running backs in the league. Like, let's be honest. If he's not top five, he's just right on the outside of it.
He's only had one bad week. Outside of that, he's had at least 13 or more points.
And I gotta say, you were talking like Green Bay's Kraft is one of the tight ends to lead the league. Like, you think he's explosive? Trey McBride, man, that guy is explosive too. You gotta like what you see from him. Steve, my only thing is I don't know what I like the risk reward with Tolbert. I don't know what to expect there. If you don't do it, um, you know, maybe Olave gets a lot of throwing from, I guess it's Spencer Rattler this week.
He's talking him up. Like, yeah, I got a player like Olave. I'm going to be giving him the ball. So, I don't know.
Yep,
That could be a high risk, high reward type kind of thing. I would play
exactly.
Olave.
That's what I'm wondering about. So, um, I don't know. It might actually help him a little bit. We'll see. I don't
It
know.
might.
But I think in the end, what is actually what probably pushed me over the edge is probably the defenses, to be honest. I don't like the idea of Cleveland against Philly because, again, I think Cleveland is going to get run all over. I think between Saquon and A.J. Brown, they are going to play smash mouth football. Cleveland is already demoralized just because of all this Deshaun Watson stuff again.
Hmm.
So that locker room is just hot garbage, right?
Eagles get up by 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. If they do that, it's over.
Yep.
And then it'll be then Mickey B might get over 20 points with Philly's defense. I don't know.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that what will probably be the deciding factor is going to be that game.
Yeah.
I think going to decide who wins this. So, Steve, I'm giving you a slight edge. I think you squeak out a win this week. Um, yeah, not by much, but I think you can pull it out. So, good luck, Drew. I know it sounds like maybe I'm not hot on your team. I am. I do actually like your team. It's just I think there's pieces to Steve's team I like better. If I could combine your two teams together, I would say that you might actually be the number one right now.
It's Drew's projected to beat him by more than 20 points at this moment in time.
Yep.
Steve needs a lot of help to win. That's all I'm going
Yep.
to say.
I'm taking that underdog, baby.
All right. Then we got AJ and Tommy versus Taylor.
I'm just going to throw this out, Steve, really quick. You just got like 5 rushing yards with Gino. Don't call it a comeback, but all right. So you said Tommy and
Tommy and
AJ.
AJ versus Taylor.
I'm just going to go ahead and do what I did last week in my little video. I don't need to waste time on this. AJ and Tommy, congrats. Taylor 0-6. AJ Tommy 4-2. There you go. Mitch.
It's okay. I'm going to pick AJ and Tommy to win this game. AJ is going to be rooting for some of Taylor's players, but that's about it. Will the Jets actually utilize some of their best players who have looks like they've severely regressed uh, under that organization? But we'll see. Yeah, um, AJ Tommy. It's as simple as that. Uh,
Here, I'll go
Taylor's
ahead. I'll go ahead and actually give some analysis here. Again, what have we hated every time? A wide receiver and a running back from the same team. And which team is that? The Jets. What are the Jets right now? Kind of a mess. Not great. Josh Allen playing the Jets. Divisional match. I don't know. He may destroy them. He may just continue handing the ball off to his running back and not need to do anything. Rashid Shaheed. He doesn't have Derek Carr throwing him the ball anymore. Who knows what that's going to mean? And let me go back to my favorite thing to harp on. Najee Harris, the man who last week was literally the only running back they could play. Literally. And what did he finish with? A whopping 35 yards on the ground. Stop telling me Najee Harris is valuable, useful. It's not
well,
working.
those are receiving yards. Rushing yards, he got 42.
All
Receiving, he
right.
got 35. But I'll also say he only got 8.7 points against one of the worst run defenses in the league, and you're the
Mm-hmm.
only running back. So
Yep. Then you got Mark Andrews, who's dropped goose eggs twice this year. And then Roma Dunze in Chicago. Look, dude, I just don't want any player from Chicago on my team ever. I
said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
So AJ Tommy, if you don't win, something went terribly, terribly wrong. There you go.
all right. Um, let's do. My goodness, Ben, we're gonna go ahead and do your game against you and little Josh. This is uh getting kind of big already.
Is it?
Um, well, I mean, you're currently projected to beat Josh by almost 30 points.
All I have to say about Mitch is, well, Mitch, I've got a little story to tell you. It's about a guy named Josh who consistently, every week, tries to use what I call black magic to help his team win. And it's not going to work this week. Why? Because I started it first. That's right. I told Josh this week that, man, my team's hurting. Josh, I think you got this in the bag. What's happening right now, Josh? Look at that scoreboard, baby.
You blew up his world.
I believe that as soon as Josh watches this, I'm going to get a text. Oh, come on, Ben, man. What? So that being said, yeah, I feel like I should get my win this week because Mitch, through the powers of Cameron, you snuck in one on me. I made the comment that it is my Mitch bye week. It was not. So I'm getting karma this week. Little Josh, I've been calling you out on your little black magic stunts for years now. You still haven't stopped doing it. So my hope is that Debo Samuel drops another, I don't know, 20 points on you. And then if I can keep San Francisco's defense in double digits, maybe get CJ Stroud to have like a tune up game against New England. Maybe Derrick Henry wants to actually do better than last week because I was a little disappointed with him only getting 16 points last week. I really wasn't happy about that. Alvin Kamara, I don't know what to expect there, man. Uh, like I said, without Derek Carr down there, Mitch, I'll be really honest. They may hand off the ball even more. It may mean you stack 8 in the box against the Saints every play. So, not sure what to expect there. Um, for some reason, I'm still playing Dalton Schultz at tight end. I I've given up on tight end this year. So, end of the day, Josh, I'm gonna get my win. And I hope that this teaches you a lesson finally to stop the nonsense. Just play the game, buddy. Just play the game. Don't make me break out the ukulele again.
I'm gonna give this to Ben too. Uh, Even before how this started, I was gonna give it to Ben, not by much. Josh, I know you're dealing with some injuries on your team too. It looks like it wouldn't have mattered much this week because of buys. Um, it's I think it's really more now just seeing how this game has already started. It's I mean Debo, we're like what second quarter? He has a touchdown, 87 receiving yards. He's
Yep.
likely to get bonus. You have a lot going against you. I think just looking across the board, I like Ben's team more. Um, like Stroud more than Fields. Yeah, I know Fields is playing against Vegas. Metcalf, I think he could still blow up tonight. I think he could still get quite a few points, but we'll see. Uh, Neighbors, is he going to play? I, it's one of those. I know Josh is getting nervous because we got that T-shirt bet going on. That's karma you put on yourself, buddy. Sending me all those pictures and stuff with him. Got to stop it. Uh, Swift, I mean, he's that Chicago's finally doing something. Go figure. Use some of your other players to take pressure off Caleb Williams. Hence, he does better. So that is starting to work out for you, Josh. So that's good. Um, I like your team more now than I did earlier. You did take a massive hit with Rice.
Yep.
But I don't know, Ben. I part of me, I was gonna throw a joke in earlier, but until I see this matchup, because I was gonna say Phil Josh is gonna beat you, and that's because he's gonna get a total of 50 points between his kicker and defense.
You know what?
um,
I'm at that point where I think I'm gonna maybe make a trade offer to Josh for the kicker.
Dude, Jordan
So
Mason just went to the locker room. 49ers are on the field too, with 9 minutes
Josh,
left in the second quarter.
you just dropped the backup.
Did he really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Josh had him and he dropped him.
Well, he might be a massive pickup this week. Now Mason, he walked off. He might just be a little concussed. Um,
Maybe.
so
Well, doesn't bode well for Drew.
man, Steve can get right back in it.
Steve.
Oh boy. Oh, here's the play. Um, it
Oh,
didn't
I
look
think
that bad.
we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Well,
serious guys.
yeah.
I mean, he enjoys injuries. Oh,
All right.
wow.
But yeah,
Is this our
giving it to Ben. Okay. Let's go to Rob and I versus Mark and Ryan.
me or you first?
You can go if you want.
All right. So I actually like Mitch and Rob this week because like I said, I think Philadelphia comes back with a vengeance after that bye week. I just feel like they're really gonna hit, Like I can just see the Eagles kind of popping off for one of those big prove it games, where it's like a 42-10 or something. So I like that. I like what you have. Some of the stuff you made trade wise, like if Mixon is back, that's going to help a lot. It's going to help a lot. Rico Dowdle, it turns out, was a pretty solid move. I like Deontay Johnson down in Carolina. I think that seems to be working out pretty well. Um, Brock Bowers, like you're talking again, Kraft. I think Bowers might be the guy who we're talking about at the end of this season. And, I think it's just funny to me that it is the younger tight ends, I think, that are getting more attention than the
Mm-hmm.
star veterans right now. So maybe that's something to watch. I think I'd kind of enjoy it. And if the Chiefs need to feel like they need to move off Travis Kelsey and maybe let Jared Wiley catch the ball a little bit more, I guess I wouldn't be too upset by that either.
Yep.
So um, I do think that you're going to get a decent amount of points with Denver's defense. Uh,
Dude, that's been
Denver,
like one of the pickups of my team. I just picked them off wait or free agents,
Yep.
and whenever I saw them, I was like, man, they've been getting a lot of points. I'm just gonna keep them
Yeah,
and play them.
they've had what, 1 week where they didn't get double digits, I think.
Yeah,
Like I even went and picked them up in one of my other leagues. So I was like, screw it. And the scoring's different over there, Mitch, but I finished like 30 points from them last week. Just
jeez.
well, they have little things in their scoring, like if you cause a 3 and out, you get a point for that or something.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's little things like that, but it adds up. So you can get a pretty high scoring defense through that.
Hmm.
So I that's going to work out for you. Uh, you know, I mean, let's be honest. Purdy's going to do pretty good for them tonight. I think Drake London's looked pretty good. Stephon Diggs in Houston has been pretty solid. I think Bijan Robinson has actually been kind of a letdown this season. And I just can't put my finger on what Atlanta is doing with him. Josh and I have talked about this several times. It's like they don't want to treat him like he's a feature back, and like he's supposed to be one of the workhorses of the NFL. That's what he's drafted. Everyone thinking,
Well,
but then I
maybe that's not what he is.
was gonna say I think that Atlanta must know something the rest of us don't. Oof. So uh, that being said, I think there's a lot of good pieces to these two teams, but end of the day, I think you guys pull it out. But I will say another close one is what I'm thinking.
So I'm gonna say it's a coin flip. I'm gonna give it to Rob and I. I think Jalen Hurts, Johnson will both get above their. I don't know. I think a lot of my players will get above their projected scores. A lot of it's going to ride on Mixon, but even if I don't have Mixon playing this week, what I'll do, Rico, I'll move up to RB and I'm going to play Lazard in my flex. That has been another unique pickup.
Yep.
Um, and then we'll see what happens with Adams. I mean, if he
Yep.
goes to the Jets, then I'll need to make a decision what I'm going to do there.
Yep.
Um, So if he doesn't go to the Jets and let's say he goes to the Steelers or something or another powerhouse team, maybe the Chiefs, it won't happen.
He's
Um,
dropped Baltimore, so
I don't know if I want that either.
I wouldn't.
Um, but no, I like my team this week. I think the big thing that I will continue to say, we say it a lot, you got a wide receiver and a running back from the same team, and because of that, I think that reflects why you're near the bottom. I think it hurts. And your team, you haven't been dealing with too many injuries. Your team just isn't performing well. You are dealing with some bad luck with Kelsey on your team. Everybody was expecting that to be better than what it is.
Yep.
So it still might get there. They're going to have to start forcing him the ball some more. I don't think it's because Kelsey's not good anymore. I think that's still there. I don't know. Or maybe Mahomes isn't that great.
No, I would say that there may be some regression going on because watching the game the other night, I really thought Mahomes was missing open receivers. So oh, we'll see.
I Chiefs. I won't count them out. They'll be in the Super Bowl. So all right. Yep. Rob and I we barely beat Ryan and Mark. I think we will break 100. Ryan and Mark will be just shy of it.
Yep. I
So
think that.
all right, that's it for the matchups. So a little bit on NFL news that we were going to talk about. The Jets this week fired Salah.
I honestly don't know what to make out of that because uh, what was it? Some of the analysts are talking like the owner hasn't ever done anything like this ever.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of this. You got to wonder if it's something like, was Aaron Rodgers unhappy with the coach and did he kind of get his way here, or was it just they just don't have faith in Salah? Um, I don't know. I really don't know because you know I you look at what he's had. This is his second season there.
or third.
third.
He was
But
there before they got Rodgers.
yeah, but like he's not really had a quarterback, you know? I mean, he was playing with the Zach Wilson experiment last year, and like, so I don't know what to expect out of that. But I just don't think it's necessarily coaching. I think there's a lot of things going on. Rogers just, I don't think he's gelled with the receivers there. He clearly still has a connection with Lazard, but where is it with Garrett Wilson and you know Brees Hall? They're not getting these big games out of them, and that defense, everyone talks it up like it's supposed to be one of the top tier defenses every year. I really am not seeing that from them right now. So if that's what the owner is looking at and going like, look, you're supposed to be like a defense minded coach and this defense looks bad, I get it. But I think there's going to be more news that comes out to follow with this as they keep digging into the why.
Well, they gave Nathaniel Hackett or whatever his name is. There's reports of him. He was about to get fired.
Yeah.
And then the owner talked with Rodgers the day before. Maybe it was to be like to get his feelings of what do you think about this? Like this is being discussed, and Rodgers like, no, it shouldn't happen. I don't want to see it happen. And then the owner's like, well, then I got to take care of the other problem then, because
Yep.
if this happens, you're going to have a problem with the head coach. It could be something as that. So no, he Rodgers may not have been directly involved, but he was indirectly involved. There's
Yep.
that game where he pushed the coach back off, and then he went to the next player, then hugged him. So
Yep.
the relationship between Saleh and Rodgers wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I'll say the same thing like with the Eagles. It's they have all the talent in the world. If that relationship between the coach and the quarterback is not there, I don't care. It's not going to
Yep.
happen. Um, and Eagles are not going to get rid of Jalen Hurts. It'll be Sirianni first.
Yep.
Um,
I agree.
but I don't know. I Rodgers indirectly played a role in this. Rodgers, he's always been a quarterback that unless he's played with a wide receiver for years, he just lacks trust and
Yep.
chemistry. Garrett Wilson has severely regressed.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree with that.
Brees Hall, I think the talent's there. They're just not utilizing him, and I don't know if that's just because of a trust issue or what. Lazard, I mean, he was supposed to be wide receiver three. I know Mike Williams was hurt, and they're going to try to still get him more involved. But
I
Aaron
hate.
Rodgers, he likes Lazard the most. And then I don't know what happens whenever Devontae Adams gets there, if that's what happens.
Yep.
And it might fix everything.
Maybe it might. It might. You know, we've seen where they let a coach go, and an interim coach kind of revitalizes the team, brings them
Hmm.
together. I hate saying it, but you look at Vegas when they got rid of Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
That it clearly was an improvement to the morale there.
Yeah.
Now that said, it wasn't an improvement for Devontae, but
Yeah.
so I don't know. Like I said, I've been saying all night. It's kind of a mess. Everyone's just sitting here to waiting to see what happens next.
Yep.
There's just a lot of question marks.
Yep. And we're gonna wrap up with where's Devontae going?
I don't know. I had heard that there's a couple teams. I heard Buffalo and Kansas City are both quote monitoring the situation very closely. He tweeted out a picture of Edgar Allan Poe, which the connection there, the Ravens. Uh, you know, maybe he's looking to get back to the Aaron Rodgers good graces and go to the Jets. Seem like the four top options. I saw something today that said, especially now that Derek Carr's injured, I believe the report is he told the Raiders that if they traded him to the Saints, he would retire. So
Doesn't Adams? Does he not have a no trade clause in his contract?
I don't know. I
Because
really don't know.
if he does, then he could pick and choose.
Yeah, he does. Don't you?
I would think, but who knows?
Yeah. But I really I think with Devontae, you're not necessarily thinking about the money. What you're only thinking about now is getting on a contender team
Hmm.
and trying to go get that ring. You know,
Yep.
you want to be on a team where you have that shot. So I think you're only looking at teams that are higher up in the
Yeah.
rankings right.
Because he never did get that ring. He got to Green Bay after they got the title, didn't they?
What?
Yeah. Because that
Yeah, I
was in 11. Was that 2011?
think so.
Andrew can answer that question. But um, I mean, for me, I think it's gonna be the Jets. Um, especially if they win this week, they're gonna go all in. They're gonna try to get him. So we'll see. Uh, AJ, I'd be curious to see what you think about the whole situation. We talked about the Jets a whole lot more than we usually do. So let us know how you feel about that whole situation. Who knows? I might be talking about my own quarterback coaching issues
Mitch,
here in a few weeks.
Mitch, you know what this is? Prime opportunity for a poll.
A poll. Oh, like a poll for is Nick Sirianni going to be fired before the end of the year?
Well, that or where does Devontae end up?
Those would be some good polls.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll get those started tomorrow. I'll let the episode
yeah. Why
take
not?
place.
Could be fun. Ooh,
Wow, Metcalf dropped it.
yeah. Sorry, Josh.
That would have been a touchdown too, I think.
Yeah,
So,
no good luck for.
um, oh no, hit 49ers hands were right in there. But anyways, that's all we got for tonight's episode. One of the shorter ones, but we still hit an hour.
Yep.
So, all right. As always, if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.